Week 3 deals with actually learning how to normalize data and split it into multiple tables. And you will be applying what you learn to your own final project database. Now, this whole process of normalizing is one that is easier the more you do it. So the first time you go through it, it's probably going to be difficult, a little confusing. Uh, the second time you go through it, it gets a little easier. Third time, even easier. So when you work on your final project, I expect that you will need help defining those tables. So I want you to do, the best that you can and submit it. And then what I will be doing is downloading it. And I'm assuming that I'm going to have to help you make corrections to your tables. And typically, what I can do is either meet with you in Zoom, and then I can walk you through what needs to be fixed, or I can create a video that shows you what you need to fix and why it's a problem. I'm pretty flexible. I'm willing to do the corrections either way, but definitely you are going to want to make those corrections before we move into week 4. So you will get all the points regardless of if you need corrections or not. So just submitting that milestone, you're going to get the points. But then just be aware that we are going to have to make some adjustments to your tables so that moving forward, your final project will be set up correctly and you won't have any problems executing commands. So as you are going through the work for this week, the information on Chapter 8 does not involve any assignment that you have to turn in. It's basically on data types. And you're going to be applying that information in database design. You'll also be applying that information next week when you create your actual database and tables in SSMS. So we're learning about the data types this week, and we're going to be basically using them for the rest of the semester. Chapter 10 goes through normalization. Actually, that's the textbook assignment. Let's go up here. So we talk about how to normalize the database. And as I mentioned, this process gets easier the more that you do it. Okay, so I actually enjoy going through your projects and helping you get them normalized. And that is why I am a computer instructor, because I like doing this nerdy kind of stuff. So as you're working on this, if you need help, if you want me to help you before you submit it, awesome. Just flip me an email and I can help you. Otherwise, just know that once you submit it, I'll take a look at it, make sure it's accurate, and give you the feedback that you need. So we've got Chapter 8, we've got Chapter 10, which does include a textbook assignment. That textbook assignment, the exercises in it mimic what you need to do in the final project milestone. Okay, so after you go through the Chapter 10 assignment, you're going to be somewhat familiar with the process, which will make completing that milestone a little bit easier. Then, once you've submitted the milestone, there is a very short research paper. And I know you're probably all going, but we do have learning outcomes in this class that I have to address. And for this particular learning outcome, a research paper is the best way to address it. And you only need to do a short paper. So we're talking 1 to 2 pages, double spaced. I do want you to use 3 sources, which you need to cite. So you need to include those references. And obviously, your paper needs to be in full sentences and it needs to be grammatically correct. And as far as what the paper topic is, everyone needs to write about the legal and ethical issues of data sharing. And then you have a choice. You can focus on uh, database design, legal and ethical issues of that, data availability, or the individual's right to privacy. Okay, so legal and ethical issues of data sharing, and then pick an area of focus. So that's what the paper is on. And as you can see, it is worth quite a few points. We have, let's see, 25 points associated with this paper, so it is well worth doing. Okay. And if you run into problems or if you have questions about what the requirements are, let me know. But basically, as long as you are covering legal and ethical issues of data sharing and you've chosen either database design, data availability, or the individual's right to privacy as an area of focus, uh, you should do fairly well on that paper. Then I've also included a unit test 1 extra credit. And so what I do after people finish the Unit 1 test is I go through and I look for questions that students have had problems with. So this extra credit is kind of based on what students have had issues with in previous semesters. And everything that is on those unit tests are questions and objectives that you are going to see on the MTA exam. So I do want to make sure that you understand everything. So if you struggled a little bit with that first unit test, this extra credit will help boost your score. So it's only going to help you. After you've completed all this, if you are still a little bit fuzzy on normalization, I do have some resources here for you. In addition, if you wanted to download the slides from the chapters, you can do that. In the chapters, there are examples and exercises, so I've included the solutions for those as well. Okay, the only things that are required, though, as far as what you need to complete, would be the textbook assignment for Chapter 10, the final project milestone, the research paper, and that's it. Those are required. Everything else is optional.